suited at the time. Alex Salmond trying to get elected for a second term and thinking he would use us to get one over in the opposition. Stephen House, then Chief Constable of the gone but not dearly departed Strathclyde Police, who was looking at having his budgets cut in a period of recession, and he was thinking of climbing the greasy pole to the top job in the police service of Scotland. And he thought he would use us as well, and it seems to have worked for him.
Fucking scumbag!
We had Lord Advocate Frank Mulholland new into the job and looking to show his gratitude to his political masters. One of the most politicised Lord Advocates in the history of this country. He spends his time defending government policy. And I talked about how we predicted that many people, mostly young people, would be arrested, hassled, threatened, dragged through the courts, and generally have their jobs, their studies and their lives disrupted. And I can't say that I'm happy to confirm that everything that F.A.C predicted and warned about has come true. I wish we had been wrong, but we weren't. In fact, it's worse than we predicted. Even we would not have envisaged what Celtic fans and fans of other clubs have had to suffer over the past year. There is not another group in society, and I'm including criminal gangs and I'm including drug dealers, who are subjected to the same level of surveillance, who are searched, scrutinised, photographed, videoed, monitored, vilified, arrested and generally subjected to the most appalling and vindictive harassment. And for what? Not for acts of violence or disorder or anything like that, but maybe for wearing a t-shirt they don't like, maybe for having a banner that they don't find particularly funny, maybe, if I can turn this page, I'll see what it maybe was, singing a song that makes them uncomfortable, holding views they don't agree with, maybe singing a hymn, maybe making the sign of the cross. And where are the civil liberties groups, the trade unions and the great lovers of the progressive cause? Well, apart from a few notable exceptions, they have been very quiet. And it pains me as a lifelong trade unionist and a socialist to have to say that, but it's the truth. I said at the beginning how fantastic it is to see you all here, and it is. Gathered here in huge numbers as a community, side by side, in solidarity with each other. How different it was 3 weeks ago, less than a mile from here, when a small group of Celtic supporters of all ages gathered in a simple, peaceful protest, showing solidarity with all of their fellow supporters who are currently banned from Celtic Park as part of bail conditions, or in what the PLC like to call precautionary suspensions. The level of brutality and sheer naked aggression which was meted out to people in that day shames this police force, shames this government and shames this country. What kind of a country takes a law-abiding group of people and turns them into criminals?
Alex Salmond!
What kind of legal system takes young people who are interested in politics and makes them hate the police and despise politicians? This is dangerous, and all citizens, not just football fans, should be concerned. But you've shown them here today. If you try to beat us off the streets, we will keep coming back in bigger and bigger numbers. Until you don't have enough truncheons and horses and dogs to keep us down. And you don't have enough bodies to kettle and constrain us. Yet, terrible as it was, what happened 3 weeks ago was no more than a spike in the relentless day in, day out, week in, week out harassment and bullying which has now become part and parcel of being a football supporter. And that's why we all have to play our part in opposing this act and opposing the police and criminal justice system in this country, and to keep on doing so until the act is removed from the statute book and the police are brought under control and made to get on with catching criminals and leave football fans alone. So for that reason, our efforts can't end here today. When you get home tonight, whenever that might be, because you might have some celebrating to do at 5:45, think about what you can do to support this cause. Do you have evidence about what happened in the Gallagate 3 weeks ago? Well, go to the Celtic Trust website and you'll find an online witness collection forum going live today and fill that in. Have you been charged under the Act? Well, contact F.A.C, give us all the details to strengthen our case when the Act comes up for review. Join us on the 24th of April when we appear outside Parliament to present a petition which will be going online next week to ask for an inquiry into how the police behaved in the Gallagate 3 weeks ago. Hey! Do you want the police force held to account for their actions 3 weeks ago? Yeah! Well, go to the Trust website. You'll find a template email which you can send to your MSP. All you need to do is fill in your postcode and a few simple details, and emails will be sent to all your representatives in the Scottish Parliament. Let's bombard them day in, day out. Let's harass them the way they harass us. Let's make their life as difficult as they've made ours and keep doing it until they stop. The tide is turning for these people. What happened 3 weeks ago has crossed the line. We've now got judges, sheriffs in Dundee, no particular friends of ours, pointing out that this Act was drafted by somebody who simply doesn't understand football. Hey. And I believe the word he used was that it was a load of nonsense, and he said, in fact, the word mince comes to mind. Hey. So I want to thank you all for turning out here today and for all of the other things that you've done to show solidarity with each other. Most of you probably know by now that our request to the council and to the police to be allowed to leave here en masse and in good order and safety to Celtic Park today was turned down. So can I ask you all to make your way to the game or wherever else you're going with your head held up and in a peaceful and friendly manner for which we are known and welcomed all around the world, except perhaps our own country. And remember this, supporting your team is not a crime. So let's build that out today when the teams come on the park, and let's make sure that in the coming weeks and months that same message is held loud and clear by Alex Salmond and his government and by Stephen House. Supporting your team is not a crime. Hail, hail!
Yes! Supporting your team is not a